What's up guys, thanks for tuning in on today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I hate about the 2018 F80 M3 Competition Package. Now keep in mind, this video was actually very difficult to make. That's pretty much because I've just had so much fun driving this car and reviewing this car, and I'll put a link in the description to that video and you can check it out here on the card right above me. For a performance sedan, it completely just blew my mind, and I understand why the M3 is the benchmark performance sedan. You know, there's really just not many substantial things that I could find wrong with the car. No car is perfect, and the BMW does have some small nuances, and let's get to them. All right guys, so for the first thing that I hate about the 2018 F80 M3, it's gonna be from the shift knob here. Why do you look like Eva from WALL-E? For me, it just doesn't look really aggressive and sporty. I'm actually a bigger fan of the square, kind of like rectangular shift knob. And for me, that just looks so much more aggressive than this one. I mean, Eva was a cool character, I get it, but that's just something that I guess I was never really too thrilled about seeing in this car. All right guys, so for the second thing that I hate or strongly dislike about the 2018 F80 M3 is actually a problem that is seen throughout other BMWs, but because it's an M3 and it's a BMW and it has this, I hate it. So that's actually gonna be the interior chiming noise that this car has. If you're in a rush one day or kind of feeling rebellious, you can just take off your seatbelt here and nothing happens. It's okay to go. But when you start to drive, you get this. That's a safety regulation that has to be done by the cars. It's essentially letting you know that, hey dummy, you got to put on your seatbelt while you're driving. Now, I don't condone driving without a seatbelt, but there's some times that if a passenger's wearing a seatbelt and you're or somebody else in the car is not wearing a seatbelt, this will consistently chime and it will not stop. I know that you can probably code that out, but again, it's a safety measure. I know it's annoying. I know I should have my seatbelt on while I'm driving. Let me do you guys the favor and myself a favor. There, you happy? So guys, so for the third reason why I hate the 2018 F80 M3, and this might be the biggest and most valid point that's actually shared through a lot of people, it's gonna be the exhaust that this car comes from the factory. Let's get a little startup clip first. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the backfire is pretty sweet. Of course, the pops and bangs are always super fun, and with this boot mod stage 1, you know, you can actually control the different amount of backfire that you get, so it is pretty enjoyable. But the competition package just gives you a more bombastic exhaust. If you just get the regular one without the comp package exhaust added to it, it just sounds terrible. I mean, inside the cabin, you won't hear anything at all. It just completely insulates all the sound from the outside, and it's just not enough feedback. This car comes with the S55 engine, which is essentially just a better N55 engine. It's a 3-liter inline-6 twin-turbo engine. As beautiful and aggressive and as fast as this car is, the sound just doesn't really match it. And compared to the car that was actually sharing this engine, which was the E90 335i, it just doesn't sound as good. You know, the 335 sounded amazing. I mean, check it out. Get a load of this exhaust. The sound for me is kind of off. It kind of sounds kind of like synthetic, kind of like this manufactured, almost like a dubstep type of beat in the back. I don't know if I can explain that correctly, but to me it just doesn't sound very good as opposed to the E90 335s or the N55 engine. I mean, that one just sounds so much more melodic, so much more like an inline six. But this car, being a relative of the N55 engine, I don't know, I'm just not really sold too much on it. But gonna be honest, the pops and the bangs are pretty exciting. Now, the fourth reason why I hate the 2018 F80 M3 is actually a reason that a lot of people had back when this car originally came out. And that is because of the engine swap that they did on the M3 models. Before, on the E90s and the E92, it came with a V8. Now they've replaced it with an inline six that, as I mentioned earlier, was borrowed from the N55 engine in the 335, which was the middle trim or the middle level between the 3 Series. I can't say how disappointed I was, especially in the exhaust note, as I mentioned earlier, but I do have to admit, this is a lot more powerful. It's a lot quicker, it's a lot more durable, and overall just has a higher performing output than the V8 model M3. But I do have to say, a full bolt-on E90 or E92 M3 sounded way better, undeniably way better than this. All right guys, so before I give you the last reason why I hate the 2018 F80 M3, I'd like to remind you that this car is currently up for sale, and you can find some information on this car in the description below. And of course, don't forget to watch the video up here of the full review of this car. All right guys, so for the fifth and last reason why I dislike or hate the 2018 F80 M3 is because of the launch control system. I can't stress enough how ridiculous this launch control system. Just to show you just how ridiculous it is to engage the launch control on the F80 M3, take a look at this clip of me calling the owner and having him list one by one the instruction and the certain conditions that the car has to be in order for you to launch it. Okay.
Press on the traction control, like hold it for like 5 seconds.
That's the okay.
It should like, did it change the landing or no?
Yeah, DSC inactive?
Yeah, then press the brake and accelerate.
Bruh. RIP, it did not.
It didn't do it?
No.
Drive for, oh, I think it has to be hot. Like,
It has to be hot.
Oh, it's not doing the box yet?
No.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna do launch control.
Okay. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. All of that to get a launch control. And actually, I believe when I reviewed the car as well, there you go with the unnecessary chimes. And during the review, I did a launch control as well. Take a look. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. I don't think I did that right. And I remember that after I did it, it would not let me engage. So I calculated that I could only do 3 to 4 launch controls before the car would essentially overheat, or the transmission would overheat and say, sorry, it won't happen again. I just can't stress how frustrating the launch control system is in this car. One thing I will say about the launch control system, I do like how you can adjust the different RPMs using the cruise control button. I've actually never seen that on any car before, so I do have to say it's a pretty cool aspect of it, but overall, the launch control system is just so flawed. All right guys, so that pretty much concludes the 5 reasons why I strongly dislike or hate the BMW F80 M3. Like I said earlier guys, this video was really hard to come up with and just to film in general, because overall the 2018 F80 M3 competition package is just an amazing car to begin with, period. I mean, it's incredible just how fun this car is and how easy it is to drive. It's so user-friendly and so effective. And I can't wait to make the video on the 10 things that I absolutely love about this car. All right guys, so let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the 5 reasons that I gave you for this video. What are some of the reasons why you don't like the 2018 F80 M3? Guys, don't forget to like this video so it helps out with the algorithm. I'd love to see other people's responses and other people's feedbacks on the 5 things that I hate about this car. And guys, don't forget to hit that notification bell and the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos, any of my reviews, or any of my vlogs. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time. See you later.